My name is Tabo. I was born in Lesotho, raised in South Africa, and trained in the occult across Johannesburg, Bulawayo, Gaborone, Windhoek, and Maputo. For 11 years, I served in a satanic order. Today, I am here to reveal the financial traps Satan uses to keep Christians poor, stagnant, rising and falling, and trapped in cycles of hard labor without reward. There are things I saw in the spirit world, things I participated in, things I deeply regret. And if you listen until the end, you will understand why money disappears mysteriously, why people rise but never truly break through, why some get good jobs but never see savings, why families struggle with generational poverty, and why certain Christians suffer extreme lack even though they pray faithfully. Tonight, I'm going to expose ancestral financial debts, hidden curses passed down through bloodlines, python spirits that swallow wealth, seed-eating demons that consume harvest, witches who manipulate dreams, demonic financial exchanges, spiritual embargoes and delays. And at the end, I'll reveal the most dangerous satanic financial weapon, one many pastors never speak about. Before I begin, if you have a strange financial pattern, dream, or testimony you want the world to learn from, send your experience to lifefountain247@gmail.com. Your story might save someone else's destiny. Now, let me confess everything. There are ancestral debts that many families have no idea exist. Lamentations 5:7 says, "Our fathers have sinned and are not, and we have borne their iniquities." Across southern Africa, many ancestors made spiritual contracts with demons, trading worship for wealth, power for prosperity, and protection for resources. But the price was always the same. They pledged their children and grandchildren as collateral. Demons never forget a debt. There was a family in Limpopo. Their great-grandfather made a covenant with a water spirit in the Olifants River. In exchange for cattle and wealth, his male descendants were required to perform yearly rituals. For 3 generations they obeyed. But when the 4th generation became Christians and stopped, their names appeared in our coven labeled as debtors to the underworld. Instantly, everything collapsed. Their businesses shut down. Sickness attacked the breadwinners. Their cars broke down constantly. Cattle died. And every male in the family sank into poverty. They were paying a spiritual loan they never took. Another family in Bulawayo suffered the same fate. A wealthy ancestor joined a secret cult for business protection. The covenant demanded the firstborn son in every generation serve the altar. When the modern generation refused, the spirits demanded repayment. I was assigned to enforce the debt. Overnight, salaries vanished, debts multiplied, property was lost, and tragic accidents drained their finances. They suffered for a vow they never made. Generational curses also explain why some families never break free from poverty. Deuteronomy 5:9 warns that the consequences of sin can visit the third and fourth generation. Many families today suffer not because of their own decisions, but because of the sins of their ancestors. Some families have patterns. No one builds a stable home. Everyone rises, then falls. Men die young. Women struggle financially. Opportunities slip away. And no matter how hard they work, nothing stays. I remember a family whose grandfather stole cattle from a chief and used a witch to cover the crime. The witch told him, "Your sons will pay the price in their pockets." And they did. For decades, the family earned money but never enjoyed it. Every year, our assignment was to block their opportunities like an invisible barrier. It was a curse rooted in a crime they never knew about. A man once came from a family where the great-grandfather murdered someone on ancestral land. The blood cried out for justice. The result was a curse that turned men into alcoholics, left women as single mothers, and caused the youth to drop out of school. The entire family lived hand to mouth. Only when the surviving son gave his life to Christ and prayed sincerely did the curse finally break. There are also python spirits, territorial spirits near rivers, mountains, and forests whose assignment is to swallow wealth. Job 20:15 says, "He has swallowed down riches and shall vomit them up again." I saw this spirit operate many times. In KwaZulu-Natal, a young man kept dreaming of a huge snake in his bedroom. Every month his salary disappeared within a week. Job offers vanished. Unexpected bills drained his account, and business opportunities evaporated. In the spirit realm, the python sat on his finances, swallowing anything good coming his way. A woman constantly dreamed of a python. Unknown to her, her grandmother had dedicated all female children to a serpent deity for protection. But instead of protection, it swallowed her marriage, her job, her money, her pregnancies, and her destiny. Nothing in her life ever stayed. There are also monitoring spirits, witchcraft watchers assigned to observe your progress. Isaiah 80:19 speaks about familiar spirits. These watchers track you spiritually and interfere whenever breakthrough is near. One man constantly saw an old woman staring at him in dreams. That spirit monitored his progress. Whenever a promotion was close, we sent confusion. When he received a contract, we introduced conflict. When he applied for tenders, We made him forget deadlines. He wasn't cursed. He was monitored. A young lady saw a black shadow in her room every night before payday. That shadow was a witch from her extended family, spiritually counting her money before she even received it. Her salary arrived already drained in the spirit realm. Another thing I witnessed was demonic financial exchange. Ecclesiastes 6:7-2 says some people have wealth but no power to enjoy it because strangers consume it. Witches can exchange destinies, your blessings for their comfort, your customers for their shop, your promotion for their prosperity. I once saw a successful businessman lose everything almost overnight. A competitor performed an exchange ritual using a stolen item connected to his business. In the spirit, their financial stars were swapped. The competitor rose while he collapsed. One woman exchanged the financial glory of her niece on an altar. The niece worked tirelessly, yet remained broke. Meanwhile, the aunt lived comfortably without effort. This happens far more often than people think. Then there are satanic embargoes and delays. Daniel 1:12-13 shows how demonic princes can delay breakthroughs. Many people live in the land of almost married, almost promoted, almost successful, almost blessed. But nothing actually manifests. I knew a man whose work permit was delayed 2 years by demonic interference. When it was finally approved, the job was gone. His blessing expired in delay. A woman in Maputo experienced the same thing. Every blessing came close, but never landed. We had placed an embargo over her star, and nothing could pass through. But after all these things, the most dangerous financial weapon in the satanic kingdom is something most people never hear about: bloodline financial vows. These are vows made by ancestors, declaring that no one in the family must rise beyond a certain level. They create invisible ceilings, limitations that block promotion, cause sudden downfall, resist prosperity, and sabotage every attempt to rise, until such vows are broken by the blood of Jesus. No one in that family can prosper beyond the set limit. If anything I've shared has opened your eyes, share it. And if your family has strange financial patterns or stories, send your testimony to lifefountain247@gmail.com. Your story might help someone else break free.